So today we're taking a look at SimpleLift, Applause SimpleLift from Hunter Douglas. This is a very exciting product in that it has no cords, front or rear on the product, to cause child safety issues or any of those kinds of concerns. Great product. What we're looking at today is we've got a SimpleLift shade and I put it in the down position and it goes down, down, down on my window here, but it doesn't have enough spring tension to go up. It's losing the tension. So what we're going to look at here in this situation where the shade won't go up all the way, we're going to remove the end cap here, slide the bottom rail back, and I see the spring here inside the shade. So here's my spring. What I'm going to do is take this spring and just kind of lift it up a little bit. And if I look at the rest of this product, it's a shaft drive product. These are the spools here from Duet with Power Eyes. And if I take the spring here and just lift it up and let it go, you can see that it wants to go in this direction here. This direction, turning it this way, is adding more spring tension. That way it doesn't really want to go beyond that point. I would never reduce a wrap. Adding a wrap is very simple. I can turn this around here, lift it up slightly, put it up against the fabric, and I've just added a wrap. I've given it more spring tension if it's not going up all the way to help raise that shade up completely at the window opening. Now, that's not always my concern with this product. This product, again, I can add a wrap to, but I do not ever want to remove a wrap. And the reason for that is if I take a look inside the spring here, if the spring is down in the stacked position, basically it's at the top of the window. So when I'm pulling the spring down, I'm loading up the spring. If I remove a wrap and there's not an extra wrap on this cylinder inside the spring where it attaches to this cylinder here, I can actually pull that spring out if I turn it with enough force. Just doing the force isn't realizable as I turn this on the rail. I'm not realizing how much force I'm putting on that feature. So I never want to remove a wrap. If I have a shade that is spring back, where the shade won't stay at the bottom of the window, something I can do is use the weights provided by Hunter Douglas. These are light rise weights. They come in two different sizes. There's the itty bitty one and the larger one, fairly substantial amount of weight. So I would want to put these in the shade. Now my shade here is a very small shade. On a larger shade, this feature here would be in the way of the weight coming into the head rail. I want to put the bottom rail. I want to put the weight into the bottom rail if I can, inside the rail. Something I can do is on the non-spring side, I can just peel the weight, slide it in with the adhesive up, get it into place, and drop that weight into place. That weight is inside the rail. It's not going to move around. It's going to prevent the shade from springing back up. However, I can't do that on the spring side. I can't just cram the weight in there. There's not a lot of room around the spring. For this side of a shade, if I'm looking at this, where I want the weight to be is where the spool isn't. So for the second side, if it was a smaller width shade like this, or even on a larger shade, I can't put the weight where the spring is. I'm going to put those weights at that feature there. So when I put it on, it's offset from the spools inside my bottom rail here. So now we're going to go ahead and reattach our bottom rail on. We've got a feature here and here of the bottom rail that the fabric slides into. I'm going to go ahead and bring that into place here. This is the thumb feature here that my thumb grabs onto. That goes to the room side of the shade. It will go on backwards. Slide it on. And neither of my weights impeded me putting it back together. My weights are in the right location. Can go ahead. Put my end caps on, and I've just added weights for spring back, or added a added a spring wrap so that my shade will completely raise and lower in the window opening. And that's how you make spring adjustments and weight additions to an Applause SimpleLift shade.